Tonight, we now know who the Dayton Police Department asked to bring in or has to come in to investigate criminal allegations against multiple officers. However, there is still a lot of unanswered questions tonight. Jenna Lee Bork live outside of Dayton Police headquarters. So, Jenna Lee, who did Dayton Police request to lead this investigation?
Yeah, Elise, a letter was sent from Dayton Police Chief Afzal to the Ohio BCI requesting the agency's help. We still don't know what the criminal allegations are or how many officers might be being investigated. Tonight, we take a deeper look into what goes into internal investigations and when outside agencies need to be called in.
Even if the officer didn't do something wrong, we want to make sure that a higher umbrella of power is looking at what took place to make sure that we didn't make any mistakes.
The Dayton Police Department released a statement on Thursday that said it was made aware of criminal allegations against multiple officers, saying it was asking an outside agency to conduct the investigation. The release also said the officers had been transferred to, quote, non-enforcement duties until an investigation is completed, end quote. Tonight, we know the agency handling the investigation will be the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation. DPD Sergeant and Fraternal Order of Police President Kyle Thomas explains when other agencies typically get asked to assist.
So then as that climbs up the ladder, if there's any allegation of potential criminal conduct, doesn't mean that a crime had to actually occur, doesn't mean that there's probable cause that a crime committed. There's just the discussion that there potentially could be crimes involved, then you want to keep going up the chain, right? So that's where you start pushing outside agencies.
DPD Chief Afzal sent a letter to Ohio BCI on August 7th asking for the agency's help, saying it would be beneficial for another agency to take over the investigation. Thomas gave an example of why.
It just depends on where, if there's any conflict involved, you know. So if you have an allegation that comes in, but say the work units that are involved work with other agencies around here on a daily basis, do you want the sheriff's office or one of our local agencies investigating when they work with those units every day or those employees every day, right? We want to ensure that whatever action that we take to make sure that our employees are clean and doing the right thing and is above reproach.
Thomas says there are constantly self-investigations going on in the department at all levels and that officers self-report.
I think a lot of times the community thinks that you know, we only do something when they bring an issue up, and the reality is that every day, multiple times a day, there are things that we are self-investigating.
Thomas says the department doesn't want the community to think it doesn't have integrity, which is why it goes to great lengths to bring in outside agencies for investigations and deal with problems when they find them. Back to you in studio.
We also know tonight that a former sergeant with Dayton Police has been terminated. The department making that announcement on social media. In fact, here's that announcement behind me. Back in May, former Sergeant Joseph Setti was found guilty for unlawful restraint and disorderly conduct involving 3 victims. Setti was ordered to have no contact with the victims and receive probation as his sentence. He was then placed on administrative leave when the allegations first surfaced back in March of 2023.
BCI did an investigation. The Dayton Police Department, based on BCI's investigation, did their own internal investigation for policies, procedures, and you know, core values, and he was terminated.
Police Chief Cameron Afzal released this statement in part saying, quote, the decision to terminate Joseph Setti's employment reflects our dedication to maintaining the trust and confidence of our community. We are committed to our core values of professionalism, integrity, fairness, and respect. I will continue to ensure that our officers adhere to the highest ethical standards. And a barn fire at an animal farm now under investigation tonight. It happened just after 6 o'clock tonight on Fox Road in Clayton. Several fire crews from different jurisdictions were there on scene to help. Clayton's fire chief, though, telling us no one, including animals, were hurt.
There were no animals or anything in it. There were some animals out and around it. All the animals were good. No one inside, obviously. The guys put a good knock on it. Saved the chicken coop, which was right next to it. And it just takes a little bit of time to get water set up. It's in a rural area. We don't have hydrants out on this road.
The chief went on to say the fire is contained and that they are working to learn the cause. Meanwhile, a chemical leak in Tip City under investigation tonight. It happened just before 10 o'clock this morning at Abbott Nutrition. Chief of Emergency Services Cameron Haller tells us there was a hydrogen peroxide reaction in one of the facility's chemical storage totes. Haller says crews found the chemical storage tote surrounded by 6 other chemical storage totes, fuming gases into the air. Hazmat was called and the chemical was released safely into an approved container. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Now take a good look at this. This is the man on the screen here, the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office asking for your help to find him tonight. They say 43-year-old Shannon Johnson was last seen at the end of May in Harrison Township. He's 5'7", about 145 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes. If you have any information, you're asked to call dispatch. That number 937-225-HELP.
Well, beautiful weather across the Miami Valley. Temperatures in the 60s, 67 in Dayton, 67 in Troy, 61 right now, even cooling off into the upper 50s. Greenville sitting at 59, so it's looking pretty nice out there. And temperatures compared to this time yesterday, even cooler. We're 6 degrees cooler in Dayton, 9 degrees cooler in Springfield. So right now, a beautiful start to the day, a beautiful start to the evening compared to where we were this time yesterday, and also that comfortable humidity to go along with it. Now the weekend's shaping up beautifully, but this is what we're tracking tonight. Lows dropping into the upper 50s. Nice cool and crisp air in place. We'll see our northerly wind 5 to 10 miles per hour, but we'll talk about the rest of the weekend coming up here in just a bit.
It's hard to believe, but students are returning back to class as soon as Monday. Now, according to Montgomery County Adamus, nearly half of those 13 to 17 report feeling stressed about school, whether it's grades, extracurriculars that they need to do, or just simply fitting in. Today, we spoke with them about how you can help actually set yourself or your student up for success this year.
So I think one of the things that we can do as adults who support young people is create that safe space for a conversation, right? Be willing to sit down and talk about the fears, the anxieties, what is coming, what are we worried about? I think it's also important that we remind young people that they've gotten this far. So let's remind them, what were your successes last year? What are your strengths? What are you good at?
The board says anxiety is the most common struggle, but depression is a close second. If you're noticing a significant difference in your child's behavior for more than 2 weeks, it may be time to call in professional help. And of course, don't forget the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All you have to do is call or text 988. Kettering Ohio Pride Coalition is now gearing up for the new school year and helping the LGBTQIA+ community all at the same time. Gwyneth Falloon was there tonight as they handed out backpacks to kids, but Gwen, they also had another focus as well. So what was that?
Well, they are really focusing on increasing support throughout the entire Kettering community. I actually want to read this statement from their website. It says, "Our goal is to continue to grow and evolve, expanding our reach to include educational workshops, cultural events, and advocacy initiatives." Today, they did just that, helping students prepare for their first day and giving them a safe space to express themselves.
We wanted to do more and serve larger demographics in the community.
The Kettering Ohio Pride Coalition handing out backpacks and school supplies for more than 60 local students.
We have notebooks, folders, markers, color pencils, crayons, glue, scissors. We have a little bit of everything just to get them started for the school year.
According to the National Retail Federation, families with kids elementary through high school spent nearly $900 on school supplies last year. This is just another way they're taking that weight off of some parents.
It's just appreciative of what we were doing.
But the coalition is also continuing to fuel its main focus, the LGBTQ+ community, through a new after-school program for students.
Just really a support base for kids to come after school who maybe don't have a safe space to go home to, and connect with other youth that are like them or within, the LGBTQIA community.
Not just setting kids up for success physically, but mentally too.
They want to break those generational curses of not being accepted or not being loved for who they are, and showing them that there is somebody who cares.
Now, the first meeting for that after-school program will be on September 9th at the Dayton Metro Libraries at Kettering Marine branch that is off of Far Hills Avenue. In the meantime, though, they say they are always looking for help. If you're interested, just click on the support tab on their website to find out how you can donate, sponsor, or volunteer. Back to you.
200 Montgomery County students now have backpacks, all thanks to 2 local organizations. The Montgomery County Fatherhood Initiative and CareSource teamed up today to hand out the backpacks filled with school supplies. Organizers say these items will not only help students set up for success, but also relieves parents of some financial pressure.
It's been a great day to, for the community to come together and also take away one of those burdens for the parents, who have so much they have to deal with back to school. Get your kids a nice, full, nice backpack with supplies in it is very helpful.
He goes on to say the organization has been handing out school supplies for students in Montgomery County for the past 7 years. And this week we partnered with Cransta Classrooms and McDonald's to help local kids prepare as they head back to school. In fact, today your donations were delivered. So boxes full of book bags, pens, pencils, and dozens of other school supplies collected in the bins from the surrounding Dayton McDonald's. Now, Cransta Classrooms say that it just has a massive impact on our schools.
So when you donate to Cransta Classrooms, you make a massive difference in the community because we serve over 140 schools locally, which is over 2,000 teachers and over 50,000 students. So your donations are going right into the hands of the teachers and right into the hands of those students to give them a better experience in the classroom.
Cransta Classroom says that they're always accepting donations throughout the entire year. To donate, just head to their facility on Woodman Drive or visit their website at cranstaclassrooms.org. It's been a little more than a month since a failed assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump. We're going to have a look at body camera footage showing officers' first encounter with the gunman.
And I'm tracking our weekend forecast. I'll let you know how long this nice weather is going to stick around. That's coming up. Here's a live look from our Eco Plumber Skycam. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
The Sports Desk is sponsored
A little more than a month after a gunman tried to assassinate former President Donald Trump, we're now seeing footage from local law enforcement's point of view. Kayla Gaskins joins us with this story from Washington.
Back up. Newly released body cam video shows a frustrated local police officer in the moments after the shooting at the Trump rally in Butler, Pennsylvania.
I told them they need to post the guy over here.
Saying he told the Secret Service to post agents on the roof where Thomas Crooks fired off shots at the former president.
I told the Secret Service to post the guy over here. I told him that at the meeting on Tuesday.
Butler Township released about a dozen body camera and dash cam videos Thursday showing the sequence of events surrounding the attempted assassination. Another video shows a local officer running to the roof just moments before the shooting, apparently aware of a threat. There's no audio to this part of the video. A colleague gives him a boost. The officer pulls himself high enough to see what's going on, spots Crooks off camera, and drops within seconds. His audio picks up a few minutes later.
It's close, bro. Dude, he turned around on me.
The compilation of footage appears to illustrate the disorganized nature of the security that day and the miscommunication of the different agencies involved. We spoke with a 25-year veteran of the Secret Service who served on presidential detail, Richard Staropoli.
I find it inconceivable that any Secret Service supervisor with any level of experience would have signed off on this event.
The Secret Service says they are aware of the local law enforcement body camera footage and are reviewing it. In a statement, agency officials reiterate the attempted assassination was a U.S. Secret Service failure.
Taking a live look right now from our Eco Plumber Skycam. Natalie, it is a beautiful evening out there.
Yeah, we have more around the corner for us, looking really nice, which will be great for some stargazing or maybe seeing a shooting star. We have a meteor shower ongoing, but it does peak this weekend, the 11th into the 12th, so Sunday night. It's the Perseid meteor shower. So if you want to view that, you may be able to see a few meteors tonight, but it's really Sunday night through most of the night, mainly after midnight or so. You may be able to see a meteor or two, up to 100 meteors per hour, but you do have to be very patient. Allow your eyes to adjust to the dark sky, which would take about 30 minutes, so just keep that in mind. Get away from the city lights too, and that's your best chance of maybe seeing a shooting star or two. Otherwise, beautiful evening to do so as we got mostly clear skies. High pressure is going to slide in, keeping things pretty quiet and sunny as we head into these next several days. Temperatures do start to climb a bit though, so upper 70s through the weekend, getting up to 80 on Monday, lower 80s Tuesday, Wednesday. We do begin to see those temperatures climb a bit more, so temperatures begin to warm, but we also have that humidity that's going to stay on the lower side. So feeling really nice these next couple of days. We'll see overall refreshing humidity, especially Sunday. But by next week, we do start to see that humidity creep up just a bit. Really not too bad, but by late next week, we will see more of a difference. But if you wanted to get out, maybe mow the lawn next several days, looking great. There is a small chance for rain late Monday into Tuesday, but otherwise shaping up beautifully with below normal temperatures in the forecast.
Wright-Patterson Air Force Base providing an educational event for military children. Kids Understanding Deployment Operations, or KUDOS, helps kids understand the critical roles their parents play during deployment. Throughout the day, kids rotated through stations simulating real-world military roles like medical care, physical training, and fire department operations. Organizers say the initiative eases the emotional strain felt by military families. Congressman Mike Turner secured more than $440,000 in funds for fire departments across the Miami Valley. Turner announced Dayton, Riverside, and Brookville will be receiving the money under the Department of Homeland Security's Assistance to Firefighters Grants Program. In a statement from Turner, he says in part, quote, "I am pleased to continue advocating for increased funding for some of the bravest and most courageous individuals among us." Well, this weekend, 100 of our local heroes will be taking to the sky for the third honor flight Dayton trip of the season. 100 World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and Cold War era vets will return from Washington, D.C. tomorrow night after visiting the memorials dedicated to them. And all of it is free, thanks to the Honor Flight Dayton program. Now, here's where you come in. There's a massive welcome home for the veterans at Dayton International Airport tomorrow night. The flight is scheduled to arrive at 9:30, but you're asked to arrive and try to get there about an hour early or so to make sure you get a spot. And a shocking twist in the case of a missing bride-to-be. What you can expect in the latest episode of our Missing Nikki McCown podcast. You're watching Dayton 24/7 Now.
Take Dayton 24/7 Now News with
The final episode of our Missing Nikki McCown podcast drops on Monday. Now, this 5-part series is the most in-depth investigation into the disappearance of missing bride-to-be, Nikki McCown. Now, in episode 5, the walls begin to close in on a primary suspect as secrets from his past come back to haunt him.
Okay, you are being interviewed in regards to the crime of murder.
Dayton detectives pay a surprise visit to Tommy Swint.
You have the right to remain silent.
Not for the disappearance of Nikki McCown, but for the murder of another woman years earlier.
Was he an evil man for killing people? Yes. But did he portray himself as an evil man? No.
In episode 5 of Missing Nikki McCown, our podcast team asked detectives about his haunting past and possible connections to the missing bride-to-be.
Do you think he was a serial killer then, or do you think he at least had the psychological makings to be?
I definitely believe he has psychological makings of it.
But it's his final move that will cause more heartache for the McCown family.
It was very gut-wrenching, and it was kind of like, we're back to square one. Like, what do we do from here?
In this final chapter, we investigate where the case stands now and the tools police are still using to try to solve the case, as her family clings to the possibility that this missing bride-to-be will return home and this mystery will be solved.
My family goes through pain, my grandma does, and I just want my mom home just to be with her.
There are people out here that do know, and I am really sick and tired of them hiding behind what they call justice.
Now, before the 5th and final episode drops on Monday, be sure to catch up on the first 4 episodes. You can scan the QR code on your screen to download or search Missing Nikki McCown in Apple, Spotify, or whatever podcast platform you use. Make sure you subscribe to the series so you always know when an episode drops. The countdown to week 1 of high school football is under 15 days. How one coach is right now preparing his team in time for kickoff. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Once upon a time, there was a